Now, financial problems in South African municipalities, this is not a new problem. We've been speaking about it for decades. And with most municipalities across the country, those are on the brink of collapse. Part of the problem is the inability of many of these municipalities to generate revenue. Dr. Johandri Wright from the University of the Western Cape has done some extensive research on this, and she joins us now from Cape Town. A very good morning to you, Doc. Now, this is an area of focus for you. And yes, we hear from citizens about the lack of service delivery. We hear about, garbage not being collected, the unavailability, rather, of water and services. But what have you found to be some of the key complaints that residents have around the country, or across the country, rather?
Generally, citizens just complain about a lack of service delivery, and I think we need to look at some of the municipal challenges as well. So municipalities currently face a number of challenges. They have staff skills shortages, and they do not. More people are moving towards alternatives because of the increase of load shedding, which also leads to a loss in a revenue base. We also see, as the Cities Network said, a lot of unemployment, which also leads to a loss in revenue base. But then we should also take into consideration that municipalities have had quite a lot of shocks lately. We had extensive floods, we had
Dr. Johandri, I think we have lost you there. That's Dr. Johandri Wright from the University of the Western Cape. Unfortunately, we did lose the feed with her. But we will try and get her back to have this very important conversations about municipalities. And it looks like we do have her back. Dr. Wright, are you back with us?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, lovely.
So
you were taking us through the challenges that municipalities are facing. Please do go ahead.
So I was just saying that we need to also remember that municipalities had quite a bit of shocks lately in terms of disasters. So a lot of municipalities had extensive droughts and others had extensive floods. We also had quite a bit of, the unrest in 2021 with a huge pandemic that was, although we have disaster risk management in place, it's not really something that could have been foreseen at the time that we would have had something quite as extensive, which all leads to financial implications for municipalities.
So what I hear you saying, Dr. Wright, is yes, in as much as we have heard from the Auditor General and from his reports pointing out fruitless and wasteful expenditure, that municipalities are also facing different types of challenges now, such as those natural disasters, the pandemics, unemployment, which is not really within their area of control. Which leads me then to my next question. What role should provincial government and perhaps even national government be playing in supporting municipalities?
So provincial and national government does actually have a oversight and supervision role in municipalities, which means they should not just, have a stick and hit municipalities when they're not doing what they're supposed to, but they also have to play a very important supportive role. And not just financially. It's not just a question of bailing out municipalities where there's not enough money. It is also having skills, and province has an overview of what's happening within all of the municipalities in the province. So perhaps when one municipality is performing well and another one isn't, province could maybe investigate what works for this municipality to try and learn lessons to teach the other municipalities and have like a peer learning system. So national government and provincial government can play a more active role in helping municipalities without imposing on their autonomy and prescribing to them what must be done, but rather play a more capacitative role.
And are there any legal remedies that are available for municipalities who are facing distress?
There are, in terms of the Municipal Financial Management Act, there is a remedy which is, I don't want to say it, but it's almost like a dreaded provincial intervention, because often that's more of an imposition rather than a collaborative effort to see what can work and what can't. But there's also room for financial recovery plan, which works quite similar to a business rescue operation, because as we all know, a municipality can't really go bankrupt in the traditional sense, where we sell off assets and liquidate the municipality. I mean, it must continue to function. And then also municipalities where we've seen a lot of mismanagement, and as the Auditor General showed, the unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure increases. But municipalities in specifically Section 32(2), they have a discretion to actually recover some of these lost funds from the persons liable. That caused the municipality to incur such expenditure in the first place, and this is really underutilized.
What measures are there that can be put in place in order to protect creditors?
For creditors, the measures to be put in place is actually the financial recovery plan, where you can put out measures for financial management improvement, and how you can protect the creditor while also trying to get the municipality into a state where it can sort of pay off its debt and continue to function properly. But this is like really, it's long-term plans, and we work within an election cycle of 5 years, which might not at this point be sufficient enough anymore. We probably are looking at longer term plans of 10 and even 15 years to really get the municipalities back into a decent recovery space. It's not going to change overnight, not even our service delivery issues.
Dr. Johandri Wright from the University of Cape Town, thank you so much for that insight on the state of our municipalities. Gareth, we're hearing it. There is no magic wand to fix this. We're not going to fix it in 6 months. We're not going to fix it in 1 year. And as Dr. Johandri Wright is saying, it will take 5, 10 years. Those are the kind of plans that we need. It has to be long term.